My name is Emily Carter. I'm 34 years old. On September 14, 2024, at exactly 10:47 a.m., I stood inside Family Courtroom 4 in Traverse City, Michigan, wearing the same navy blue dress I planned to wear to my son's birthday lunch an hour later. My ex-husband, Daniel Carter, looked at the judge and smiled before saying, "She doesn't deserve to raise him. She only knows how to make herself look like a victim." His attorney slid a thick folder across the table. Daniel leaned closer and whispered just loud enough for me to hear. "After today, he'll call someone else mom." I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I folded my son's birthday card, placed it inside my purse, and rested both hands on my lap. Judge Rebecca Holloway, 61 years old and known across 3 counties for never rushing a custody hearing, quietly flipped through the filings before stopping on a single page. Then she looked at Daniel's attorney. "Counsel," she said, "before we continue, I'd like the sealed document brought into this courtroom." Daniel frowned. His lawyer blinked. Neither of them knew what she was talking about. They had spent 8 months preparing to destroy me. They had no idea there was one document they had never seen. One document filed years earlier. One document that would explain why my son had slept peacefully every night under my roof. And why Daniel's lawsuit was about to collapse before the birthday candles were even lit. Before I tell you how one sealed document changed everything inside that courtroom, please take a second to like and subscribe. Drop your city and local time in the comments below. I love knowing where in the world you're listening from right now. 8 years earlier, Daniel wasn't cruel. At least, not where anyone else could see it. We met on April 15, 2016, at a Target store outside Grand Rapids. I worked as an assistant manager. He sold commercial insurance. He carried confidence like it was part of his wardrobe. Everyone loved him. Especially my mother. She used to smile at him and tell me, "Emily, a man who speaks well can take you anywhere." My grandmother, Margaret Lewis, never smiled when he visited. Grandma Margaret was 78, lived alone at 818 Cherry Bend Road, and baked cinnamon bread every Saturday morning. The house always smelled like butter, apples, and old books. She watched people more than she listened to them. The first time Daniel offered to carry groceries inside, Grandma waited until he left before saying quietly, "Charm isn't character." I laughed. She didn't. Years later I would remember the exact way she folded her dish towel after saying those 3 words. Daniel proposed on Christmas Eve. We married on June 8, 2018. Our son, Noah, was born on September 14, 2019. The day he entered the world, I believed every difficult thing in my life had finally been replaced by something beautiful. For about 6 months. That seemed true. Then the little comments started. "You don't need your own bank account. You worry too much. I'll handle the money." He never yelled. That would have been easier. Instead, he smiled. People trust smiling men. When Noah turned 1, Daniel convinced me to leave my full-time position. "It makes no sense paying daycare when you're already home," he said. Within another year, every dollar flowed through him. If I bought groceries over budget, he noticed. If I filled the gas tank twice in 1 week, he asked questions. One night, I spent $46.18 on children's medicine at Walmart. He stared at the receipt before saying, "You spend money like it's falling from the sky." I apologized. For buying medicine. Grandma Margaret found out months later. She invited me over for coffee. She placed a small wooden box on the kitchen table. Inside was an old brass key. "If life ever becomes smaller than your heart," she said, "come here first." I didn't understand. Not then. Daniel hated that I visited Grandma. "She's filling your head with nonsense." One Thanksgiving, November 24, 2022, he refused to let Noah come with me. He stays with his real family. Those words landed harder than shouting ever could. Grandma opened the front door anyway. She looked past me. "Where's Noah?" I couldn't answer. She already knew. She reached over and squeezed my hand. Silence tells the truth before words ever do. That sentence stayed with me. A week later, she asked me one strange question. If anything happened to you, who would protect Noah? I answered without thinking. I would. No, she said softly. Who would protect him if you couldn't? I didn't have an answer. She did. But she never explained it. In January 2023, Daniel emptied our joint savings. Exactly $21,840 disappeared overnight. He called it an investment. It wasn't. 3 months later, he filed for divorce. He wanted the house. He wanted primary custody. He wanted child support. Mostly. He wanted control. Deputy Daryl Hawthorne, 42 years old, served the divorce papers on April 3, 2023, at 9:13 a.m. He looked embarrassed. I'm sorry, he said. I nodded. I know. Daniel left the house smiling. I left carrying Noah, 2 suitcases, and Grandma's wooden box. Nothing else fit into my car. Grandma let us stay in her guest room. Every night Noah asked why Daddy didn't come home. I never answered with anger. Children shouldn't inherit adult wars. Grandma passed away peacefully on October 29, 2023. At the funeral, everyone talked about how generous she had been. Very few people knew she had spent her final months meeting quietly with attorney Linda Morales, age 54, an estate lawyer licensed in Michigan for nearly 30 years. Linda asked me to visit her office 1 week after the funeral. She handed me an envelope. It stays sealed unless custody becomes disputed. I looked confused. I don't understand. You don't need to, Linda said. Your grandmother understood enough for both of you. The envelope disappeared into a courthouse file shortly afterward. I almost forgot it existed. Life became smaller. But calmer. I rented a modest townhouse. I found remote customer support work through LinkedIn. My salary wasn't impressive. About $63,500 a year after bonuses. But every dollar belonged to Noah and me. We built routines. Saturday pancakes. Library Tuesdays. Birthday countdown calendars taped to the refrigerator. Peace arrived quietly. Then Daniel lost his job. Within 2 months. He wanted Noah full-time. Not because Noah had changed. Because child support had. He suddenly posted perfect father pictures on Facebook. Weekend. Fishing. Baseball games. Matching shirts. Photos carefully cropped to hide the girlfriend watching from behind the camera. His attorney claimed I created parental alienation. That I emotionally manipulated Noah. That my work schedule made me unavailable. Every accusation sounded rehearsed. Every sentence ignored reality. Linda Morales called me 3 days before the hearing. I've reviewed their filings. And? They're counting on something. What? That everyone forgot your grandmother. I stayed quiet. She smiled. So did Margaret. She reminded me about the sealed filing. For the first time in nearly a year, I asked what it contained. She shook her head. You'll find out when the judge opens it. I didn't push. Grandma always believed timing mattered more than information. Instead, I prepared. Every school attendance report. Every pediatric appointment. Every counseling record. Every birthday receipt. Every emergency contact form. Thousands of ordinary moments proving I had simply been Noah's mother. If you've ever had someone rewrite your story while you were still living it, type strong in the comments. I want to know we're not alone in this. The custody hearing landed on Noah's 5th birthday. Daniel chose that date. I don't think it was accidental. He knew I'd hate missing the party. He wanted me distracted. Court began at 10 a.m. His attorney spoke first. Emily is unstable. Emily isolates the child. Emily refuses cooperation. Emily cannot provide the opportunities our client can. Then Daniel took the stand. He looked directly at me. You were always temporary. Another sentence delivered with a smile. My son deserves a real future. I didn't answer. Judge Holloway noticed. She asked only one question. Mr. Carter, when was the last time you attended Noah's parent-teacher conference? Daniel hesitated. I am not sure. What was his kindergarten teacher's name? Silence. What medication is he allergic to? Silence again. His attorney quickly redirected. They recovered. Or thought they had. Linda Morales finally stood. She placed one thin folder on the table. No questions, Your Honor. Judge Holloway frowned. No witnesses? No, Your Honor. The courtroom became very quiet. Then the clerk entered carrying a sealed envelope stamped with the court's original filing date. November 6, 2023. Judge Holloway broke the seal herself. She read for nearly 3 minutes. Nobody moved. Daniel shifted in his chair. Finally she looked up. Mr. Carter. What you're requesting today directly contradicts evidence previously submitted under protective seal. Daniel's attorney stood. Your Honor. Judge Holloway handed him copies. His face changed first. Then Daniel's. Inside the envelope wasn't money. It wasn't a confession. It was something far more damaging. Grandma Margaret had filed a sworn affidavit months before her death. Attached were notarized journals documenting 2 years of witnessed coercive control. Dates. Times. Conversations. Financial records. Photos. Bank statements. Medical observations. Even security camera footage timestamps from her property showing Daniel repeatedly leaving Noah alone inside a locked vehicle while he argued with me. There were statements from Noah's pediatrician. Emails. Text messages. Copies preserved by Linda before the divorce even finished. Everything legally collected. Everything verified. Everything waiting. Judge Holloway continued reading aloud. If my granddaughter ever faces a custody dispute, I respectfully ask this court to consider that emotional abuse often arrives wearing perfect manners. The courtroom stayed silent. Linda didn't smile. Neither did I. Daniel whispered. She can't do this. Judge Holloway answered without looking at him. She already did. His attorney flipped through pages faster. Page after page. Every argument they'd prepared had already been anticipated. Grandma had documented patterns instead of emotions. Evidence instead of opinions. Principal Karen Douglas, age 49, testified next. Mrs. Carter attended every school meeting. Pediatric nurse Angela Ruiz, 37, testified by video. Mr. Carter missed multiple appointments. Neighbor Thomas Green, 65, confirmed hearing Daniel repeatedly threaten financial retaliation after the divorce. One witness. Then another. Then another. Not dramatic. Just factual. Daniel became louder each time. They're lying. They're friends with her. This is ridiculous. Judge Holloway interrupted. No, Mr. Carter. She removed her glasses. This is documentation. His confidence disappeared in pieces. Not all at once. First his posture. Then his smile. Then his voice. Finally. His certainty. At 12:18 p.m., Judge Holloway issued her temporary ruling. Full custody remained with me. Daniel's petition was denied. Future visitation would require supervised review pending further evaluation. She also ordered sanctions for knowingly presenting misleading financial declarations. Daniel stood abruptly. This isn't over. Judge Holloway looked directly at him. It is for today. The bailiff stepped forward. Daniel walked toward the exit without looking at me. Noah's birthday balloon was still tied to my car outside. I remember noticing it before I remembered breathing. At exactly 1:04 p.m., I arrived at the little birthday party waiting at Grandma's old house. 5 children. Chocolate cake. Blue frosting. Paper dinosaur hats. Noah ran toward me. Did you make it? I told you I would. He hugged me so tightly the birthday card inside my purse bent in half. It didn't matter. Neither of us cared. Over the following months Daniel lost more than the lawsuit. The court ordered reimbursement of several legal costs totaling $18,460. His employer terminated a consulting contract after reviewing sworn testimony introduced during the proceedings. His reputation changed because facts finally caught up with the image he'd built. Mine didn't explode into something extraordinary. It became something quieter. Better. Today Noah and I live in a small white house near Traverse City. The mortgage balance keeps shrinking. My emergency savings recently crossed $86,000. I lead a customer success team for a software company whose managers care more about results than appearances. Every September 14th we still bake the same chocolate cake. The recipe came from Grandma Margaret. Last winter a young single mother from church asked how I stayed calm during court. I handed her Grandma's wooden box. Inside was the brass key. I had another one made years earlier. You won't need the key, I told her. You'll need what it reminds you. She smiled without understanding. I did the same thing once. Family isn't measured by who speaks the loudest. Love isn't proven by who files the biggest lawsuit. And peace rarely arrives with applause. Sometimes it arrives inside a sealed envelope. Prepared by someone who loved you enough to think 5 years ahead. I still keep Noah's bent birthday card inside Grandma's wooden box. Whenever I see it, I remember that morning in Courtroom 4. Not because it was the day I defeated my ex-husband. Because it was the day fear stopped making decisions for me. If this story meant something to you, if you've ever had to protect your peace when nobody else understood, share this video. Someone in your life might need to hear it. Subscribe if you want more stories like this. I locked Grandma's wooden box one last time, slipped the brass key into my pocket, and quietly walked forward knowing I had finally done it.